You won't believe me, but I spent 18 minutes recording my entire thing, and I didn't have my mic set up so that there was nothing to hear in the video. So let's try this again. Hopefully I don't have to spend 18 whole minutes this time. I can just go a little faster. I've seen this whole VOD at least once now. Sorry if you hear my dog. Okay, first thing off the bat, make sure when you have a jump-in combo that you can reliably do some kind of combo. So whether it's the best combo in the world or optimal or what, doesn't really matter, just that when you get your jump in, when you take the risk and you get the opportunity, that you make the most of it. You can do a simple, just normal special DP. You can do just anything that will get you some more damage that you don't mess up. Also, just to note, OD Adamant Flame is really good. It gives you a ton of damage, but not exactly when you're not having your opponent cornered. So, like right now, kind of in the middle of the screen, the OD Adamant Flame wouldn't get you very much. You could go into a level 1 if you had one. You can get some Oki, which we'll talk about in round 2, I think. But if you want to dish out a bunch of damage without losing too much drive gauge, I would go into OD Tatsu. You can get a medium DP afterwards, or just go into a drive rush. You don't even need to do that though. You can just do your jump in into another normal, into a special, and call it a day. Just any one combo that you've got that you can always do. Let's go ahead and proceed. So here, your opponent does drive rush. Drive rush into a button means that Jury is almost always going to be plus, is going to have plus frames after doing a drive rush. If you don't know what plus frames really are or do, sorry if I'm making assumptions, but if you don't know what those things are, I would look that up first, because not a lot of the rest of this video is going to make sense otherwise. But Jury's going to have a bunch of plus frames on you. And that means that you're not allowed to mash anything except something invincible, which would be like your ODDP or a super, which is really risky. So the only thing that she's looking for when she does this is for you to mash, and you actually did mash. In that situation, when she turns green and gets the drive rush, it's kind of just best to wait it out, because mashing is not going to be helpful, since this Jury knows that she can mash pretty safely, and the only thing that she's worried about is you doing an ODDP, which is going to deal like 1200 damage or something. It's not going to be the end of the world. So she does a drive rush, you can probably expect that she's going to do a normal and it's going to be plus, and then she's probably going to do another normal after, because it's still her turn. In that situation, just block it out, and hopefully she doesn't throw. If she shows that she throws you a lot, then you can start throw teching. My dog is in the ball pit. I really hope that doesn't go through in the audio. Okay, you do a good job blocking this out. And then you get another opening. Like I was talking about before, just making sure that when you hit a jump in, you take that big risk, you're able to get the reward. Doesn't matter what the combo is, as long as it's something you can do consistently. Okay. Good enough guess from the Jury. It happens sometimes. I don't know if you know this, but I'm assuming that DP was supposed to be a fireball. When you do a fireball input, if you were going forward beforehand, and then you go down and then do your quarter circle afterwards, this forward, down, forward, that is, the game reads it as a DP. So the way to stop that is when you're going forward, just do a half circle back. You'll get the quarter circle input halfway through the half circle, but hitting that back input just guarantees that the computer isn't going to read your fireball as a DP. I don't blame you for missing the punish on that, so we'll just move on. And that happens sometimes too. Good choice busting out. It worked out for you this time, not too bad. And your Fireball. Fireball is a great tool. It controls all of the horizontal space, but Fireball is super susceptible to jump in. You know from earlier that the jury did kind of a YOLO jump in at you, and hopefully you know that Fireball loses to jump in. So Fireball needs to have a purpose. All your buttons need to be pressed with purpose, and the purpose of your Fireball is to basically tell your opponent, hey, I should jump here. So that's exactly what happens. You do the super, throw in a Fireball, she jumps right there. That should show you something. You do another Fireball, it's all good. And then, yeah, she knows that you're planning on fireballing. You've done it twice in a row already, and she knows that the jump beats it. Sure enough, it does. So in that situation, if you were to play it back, throw a couple fireballs, but then wait and see what happens. The fireball set up your opponent to think that jump in's the answer, and so if you just don't give that opportunity, then all of a sudden, you can wait for them to do what they expect to come, and then you can punish it. But either way, it wasn't a terrible choice. There's as good a chance as any that that jury could have gotten hit by the fireball, but that's the risk. Let's see what happens next. You get hit, it's all good, it happens. You get hit with the driver's combo, it's all good, it happens. Even that happens sometimes, not too much to say. This jury did burn herself out though. I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but you see the jury go for the dash in, meaning that she could do a throw loop, and you successfully recognize that jumping beats throw. But there are a couple things wrong with this. Number one, if this jury was really good, she can see you jump and then just DP it, and then you'll be in basically the exact same situation you were in. The second thing is, you've already taken the risk to jump. The jump would lose to the jury pressing a button and then could do like a jab combo or something. And you're getting basically no reward for this. The reward for jumping out of the corner, so doing a forward jump, is you're out of the corner. Even if the jury player decides to do a DP, a crosscut DP, which would be really hard, especially for a fresh master player. Even if the jury manages to do a crosscut DP, you've taken like 1,000 damage, so you'll still definitely be alive, and you have your opponent cornered now. That is a good risk reward for you. The risk is a couple damage, and the reward is you could escape the corner. But neutral jumping doesn't really give you any of those benefits. Either way, you hit a nice little combo there, and you continue your pressure. I think that's the first throw I've seen you do this game, so it's good that you're starting to rep it. The jury needs to be afraid of not only strike, but throw too, or else she can just block, and there's nothing that you can really do about it. So here we are again with the fireballs. We know that this jury will react to your first, or to your second fireball. In the last round, you threw a fireball, nothing happened, can't expect the very first time. And then the second time, she tried to jump. And then the third time, she tried to jump too. So you can set her up. You throw that fireball, and you know that her response afterwards is going to be jump. Then you can DP it. I'm saying this like it's easy. It is not easy. It'll take so much time and effort to go into the lab and practice and be really good at your anti-airs, but it is worth it in the end. Just kind of a taste of like what ideally should happen. Once again, if you do your jump in, make sure that your combo is on lock. On punish counter, that is pretty much a lock, I think. I'm not sure about counter hit off the top of my head. I don't usually go into stand heavy kick from my my jump ins, but whatever it is, make sure it's something you can do consistently. One thing that is pretty consistent is going into crouching heavy punch afterwards. It's a cancelable move, it does a lot of damage, so you can do a special afterwards, you could do a drive rush afterwards, lots of options. but your stand heavy kick is 13 frames, so if you're even a little bit late on confirming that you get that hit, you could miss your window like you did here. So we talked earlier about how OD Adamant Flame doesn't really get you very much when your opponent's not in the corner. It can get you something pretty cool to continue your pressure, which is you can do your command grab, which is all 3 of your kicks plus forward, and you will have plus frames right on top of their face. So right here, instead of a fireball, doing a command grab is going to teleport you from there all the way over here with some plus frames. Now note that you can't grab with the command grab from that. It's not meaty like that, but it does put you really close, so you gained a whole bunch of screen presence. You basically cornered this Jury who's in burnout. And you also have plus frames that continue your pressure. Doing a fireball is not the worst answer. Doing an OD Adamant Flame wasn't the best answer, but there were still some things you could have done to make it worth your while. So in that situation, instead of the fireball, I would continue my pressure with all 3 of my kicks plus forward to do the command grab and just have plus frames right in her face. But proceeding, there it is again with those wild Jury jumps, especially after, oh no, I can't. Okay, well I'm not going to worry about it. Never mind. This Jury's got some pretty decent perfect parries. Everybody gets caught by that from time to time, not so bad. Another opportunity for you instead of neutral jumping to forward jump. The risk reward is just a lot higher. But it happens. This Jury messes up her combo, and choosing to take the punish counter throw, especially to corner Jury, is not a bad choice. You could have also cashed out and done some damage if you've got one of those on lock, but the back throw isn't a bad choice either. It does, pretty okay damage, and then of course Jury is cornered. Now, the biggest, most important thing when a player is in the corner is what they're thinking is, I need to get out of the corner. That is probably just all they're thinking is, I need to get out of the corner. For this Jury, her way of getting out of the corner was doing her ODDP and stopping your offense, stopping you from doing, whatever. So being really patient in these situations is its own kind of offense. Because the Jury's desperate, she's panicking. She does a panic option, and then hopefully next time you're able to do something that deals a little bit more damage. You could do your roundhouse kicks into a big fat punish counter combo. But either way, choosing to just get the free damage that you can't mess up from the throw, not a bad choice. Not worried about it. Now, same thing. 2 different layers now. Number 1, you throw one fireball, and then she expects you to throw a second one, so she jumps, because it would beat the second fireball probably. This time you didn't throw one, so that would have been a perfect opportunity to DP. You made the right choice by being patient. You conditioned her to do a panic option, especially because she's in burnout. But you got to be ready to capitalize on it. You basically made this Jury think that the best thing to do is jump out of the corner. You had given her all the evidence that says you should jump out of the corner. Now all you need to do is be ready to punish it. I will also say, going back, after this Jury messes up her level 3, and after she's in burnout, you're able to get her with a pretty cool checkmate scenario, especially on this punish counter throw. If you don't know, when you make your opponent dizzy by drive impacting them into the corner, usually they have the ability to react with a super or their own drive impact and kind of tip the scales against you. But Jury has no meter to do drive impact, and Jury has no super either, so she has no invincible option, and therefore you are able to get a free drive impact on her, and there is nothing you can do. Or nothing she can do. You can either set that up by manually timing it so that the drive impact will hit right when she wakes up, but that's pretty difficult, so what you can actually do is you can do a meaty stand heavy punch. If you don't know what a meaty is, it's using a button that has a lot of active frames while your opponent is waking up so that it hits them on the first possible frame. So you get this punish counter, and instead of throwing the fireball, you walk up and a little bit early you press your stand heavy punch so that as soon as she wakes up and gets hit by that stand heavy punch. You can then cancel that into your drive impact, and there is quite literally nothing she can do. She's in hit stun from the stand heavy punch, so she can't jump out of it or like press a button or do anything. And your DP will, sorry, not your DP, your drive impact will go through, and she'll be dizzy, so you can do your combo from there. Literally nothing she can do about it if she has no drive gauge and no super. So just a cute little thing. But anyway, we already talked about that situation. Just like with your jump ins, you should have a combo on lock for this situation. She's punish countered, in crumple state, there's nothing she can do about it, and you have all the stuff you need to kill from here. So it's okay if you're not like confident enough with your kill combos yet, but hopefully you go into the lab and you develop a very strong combo. It can even be a variation of your jump in combo that you can just hit in moments like these to make sure that you deal as much damage as possible. If not, just finish the round. It's okay, mess ups happen, it's a really scary moment, but looking at this, you turn green. She's got nothing to defend against you. She can't do an OD reversal because she doesn't have OD moves, and she can't super because she doesn't have super. You have an extra 4 frames of plus frames from the drive impact, or from the drive rush, and she has an extra negative 4 frames from being in burnout. So altogether, all of your moves are from this position are going to be so many plus frames, and there is nothing she can do to stop you. So the only thing that is going to lose your advantage here is not hitting a button. That was a good DP. I don't know if that was on purpose, but that was a really sick DP if it was. This is pretty sick from you. I don't know if you noticed this, but she gained her level 1 back. All level 1s in the game are not immune to fireballs. So you did something on your Oki that would guaranteed be all the options she had available to her, which is pretty cool. Let's check this situation out again. So there we are once again. You throw a fireball, she doesn't do anything about it. You throw another fireball, and just like clockwork, she'll jump and do this dive kick. Maybe sometimes she won't, but she'll jump forward because she expects another fireball. It's perfect. It's exactly what you want. Just don't throw the next fireball. That fireball is you trying to tell her that she should jump, and then your response after she jumps is hopefully recognize that you got her to do exactly what you were planning, and then hit her. And then it happens. That's, too bad it happens sometimes. Overall, not bad, but I think the most important thing is you would have won, I think, all 3 rounds. You won one of them, but you would have won the other 2 if even one of your combos that you dropped turned into a successful combo. So you were really, really close as long as your combo execution was right. And then the other thing is just some more advanced setups of my fireball isn't just a YOLO, like I hope you get hit by this thing and deal like 500 damage. It is telling your opponent, hey, you should jump. That is what a fireball is good for, is telling them, hey, you should jump, especially at this rank. And sure enough, every single time, on the very second fireball, she would jump. That is great info for you. If you can clock that and you can be aware of those kinds of situations, you will go very, very far. I hope this helps. If it doesn't, sorry about that. You can always reach out to me. We can do a custom room and a Discord call if you want, or I can just make another better video or whatever. Sorry about this being almost 20 minutes long, but hope it helps. Thanks.